Hi everyone! Today I'm going to be doing a flip through of my planner. In my last video, I had shown a bunch of these Chic Sparrow weekly calendar covers while I was unboxing these really adorable felt flower headbands that I turned into swags. And so I thought I would just come on and show you what I use these covers for. They are my planner, and I do use the Hobonichi Weeks planner inside it. So let's go ahead and get in there. And as you can see, if you saw my last video, I strung all of them through, and they're working out so nicely, and they're so cute and pretty, and I love it. So this is the Chic Sparrow creme leather in the color Black Beauty, and I asked for tons of texture on this, and they delivered. So the first thing I have in here is an insert from Dollbirdies, and that's on Etsy, and it is a wallet insert. So basically, let me take these out here. So it has some card slots, it has a full length slot, it has another full length slot over here, and then a zipper pouch right here. I don't keep anything in there right now, and I'm not using this as a wallet. I actually use a pocket size for my wallet, which I'm sure I'll show some other time. This is a clear card holder, and you can just put like your ID or license in there. I just have a picture of myself and my sister-in-law. I usually keep business cards here, places that I frequent, just doctors, dentists, and that kind of thing, just for easy, quick reference. I do keep a couple of field notes tucked into these full-length pockets. This one in particular is just, it's a blank insert, and I carry it with me so my kids can doodle in it if we're anywhere where they get bored. So I'll just kind of take this out, and then I can archive it because I love to save things, especially if they're in a field notes. This is actually my on-the-go journal. Whenever I am out of the house and I'm waiting anywhere, usually it's like appointments, you know, I'm in the lobby or something, and I will take this out and just write in it. I don't have any rules for it, so it can literally be just stream of consciousness stuff. I'll just write about who's in the waiting room with me, what people are doing, like maybe conversations that I overhear or something like that. And this is just such a fun thing to do instead of like flipping through my phone or something. Like, it's just a great alternative. And I used to keep this tucked in to the front flap in the weekly calendar cover, but I found that it was discoloring the inside cover of the book, because I originally had this in my Outlander Highland Green, and it kind of stained it. So just to help preserve it, and I'll just do like a really quick, it's just literally end to end in writing. There's no embellishments in this at all. And I'll just keep that tucked in there. And I do have a pen loop here, and I tend to use my pen loops. It's got like a clip, this pen does, and I'll just like string it through there and just do like that. I find that these pen loops, just because I have like rubber grips on usually all my pens, so it's not good for out and about. It just always tugs and gets stuck and everything. My pen loop is coming apart at the bottom here. I haven't had it for very long, and I thought that was a little odd because I always tend to pull down on it. So hopefully that won't give me any problems down the road. But yeah, that's just on the long string in here. Basically this is my other weekly calendar cover. It's in Mr. Darcy Mayflower, and inside there's a long string and then a short string this short string tends to measure personal size. And I did have things on the small string in the past, but I just felt it was unnecessary and it was just sort of bulking everything up. So I'm only using the long string, and I have the short string empty here. And then I just have my Hobonichi Weeks tucked into the back flap. If I can get it out, here we go. And, you know, I just have the pink one, and I thought it coordinated so well with this Dollbirdies insert. Oh, and before I start flipping into it, the pen that I have is the Zebra Sarasa Dry, and the Hobonichi Weeks, like everybody knows, it's got Tomoe River paper, and it's this exceptionally thin, smooth paper, and it takes watercolor and all kinds of inks extremely well. But if I'm not mistaken, it's coated with something that prevents bleed through. For it being such a thin paper, pretty much nothing will bleed through this. But because of that, I find that gel pens, which are my favorite type of pen to write with, the ink stays very wet on here, and it just smears so easily and takes forever to dry. But I have been sort of experimenting, trying out different pens. I just order a bunch of gel pens off Jet Pens, and I've just been trying them out. And this is the winner. The only thing about these Zebra Sarasa dry pens, for some reason, just the dry version, it will, like this is a 0.4, and see if we can focus. There we go. So this is a 0.4, and I find, and everybody in the reviews also have said that it writes like a 0.5, and the 0.5, the 0.5 writes like a 0.7. So these tend to have they write wider than they indicate. So you just basically have to size down, and then you'll be fine. So yeah, I was like testing a whole bunch of stuff in this like random back page. And this is my favorite so far. There is one other pen that I'd like to try that is a gel pen. So yeah, so there's the pen, and I'll just move the cover out of the way so we can just look at the Hobonichi Weeks. And I had not heard of Hobonichi prior to this year. I bought it on a whim. It is a Monday start, and I'm a Sunday start person all the way. And when I saw Chic Sparrow was making covers for this, I was just like, well, I'll just give it a try. And it was an impulse purchase, and actually it has worked out extremely well. I absolutely love having this Weeks, and I am also a sucker for like narrow size. So any kind of notebook, planner, whatever, if it's long and narrow, that is for me, and I will try to find any excuse to use it, obviously. So I just have some stickers. This is a like library card pocket. I think I got it from AC Moore, a craft store. And I have these stickers in here. I don't use these. I started out using these, and it's just not for me. I was kind of forcing it because I thought that's what you're supposed to do, and turns out that's not how I plan. But I just have a little bit of decoration. I haven't gone back and done any decoration in a while, but I will fill this out before the year is done, which is plenty of time. I just have some washi there. A lot of stuff in here is in Japanese, so I know a lot of people will cover it with stickers, artwork, washi, whatever. So I started doing that a little bit once I got into washi tape, which I'm kind of back out of now, so we'll see. It's always a process, This page, I hate this page so much. I've tried to make it work. I couldn't figure out how to decorate it. These spaces are abysmally small, and I just find it completely non-functional, so I gave up on it. It's a year overview. I have the spring start, by the way, because I didn't know about this at the beginning of the year in January. So I got the April start, so it goes from April to April. And yeah, so I just ignore this page. No. So I got this at the end of March. So this is the March spread. All the months are in the front, and then the rest of the books are these weekly spreads each week. So I didn't really know what I was doing in the beginning. I was just kind of slapping things down, trying to figure out what my style was. By the next month, April, I figured it out. I have gone through here and kind of put sticky notes over personal information. But basically, this was a way for me to start using up my washi tape and just random stickers that I have. And, you know, I would just come up with some themes. And once I figured out how I like to decorate, I got really excited and I went overboard. Actually, this is April, this is May, and I just went way too much washi everywhere. And yeah, so I learned my lesson, and it's always a process. And even though this isn't perfect, I just really enjoy using this. I love being in it. I love trying again the next day, the next week, or the next month. It's just such a great process. So in June, I kind of got myself together and scaled back on the washi, but, you know, added all my bits of flair to it. And I just really love this month. Well, last month's spread, June. Now it is July, and I haven't done that yet. So I have these tabs on top, and these are just post-it tabs. And the first one always goes to the current month. And then the second one goes to the current week spread. So this is my current week's, or the current week. And I will go back to the beginning. I think I've been in this for like 3 months or something. Yeah. So this is the first week that I did. You know, I started on the 22nd of March. And one thing that hasn't changed, because my style has definitely changed throughout the weeks, is I always keep a to-do on this blank side. So the weeks looks like this. It just has a blank grid on the right side, and then the 7 days on the left. So what I had started doing, I did to-do and meals on the right, and then each day I felt like I didn't have enough appointments, so I was just filling in kind of at the end of the day something that I did that day, which I keep a daily journal to recount things that happened during the day. And after a couple of weeks of doing this, I found it redundant because I was like, I'm already writing about what happened in much more detail than this in my daily journal. It seems just extra work to fill in a tidbit about it every day. So you'll see eventually I quit doing that. But yeah, you know, I tried to do some, I don't know, embellishments, and I quickly quit doing artwork in here because it was just too much pressure and it always takes too long for me. But I do the stickers and the washi, and I was doing that for a while. You know, my right page stayed the same. It was always to-do and meals, a little bit of, you know, what happened every day. And I'll point out here, because you can see this blue, I was on the hunt since I got this. I was on the hunt for a pen that wouldn't bleed, and felt tip pens are like a go-to for this. You know, they just dry so fast. And I had started out using a Sharpie pen, which worked great, but I hate felt tip pens. I hate it so much. And then I just didn't like the look of a Sharpie pen, or I don't know. I just didn't want to be using it. And so I found these Marvy Le Pen pens, and they're so slender. You know, I just thought they looked so good with the whole slender profile of the weekly calendar cover and the Hobonichi weeks and everything. So I started using this one, and it's a really nice black color, except once you use it, after a few days or like weeks maybe, I'm not sure when this started happening, but the ink on the opposite page will look blue. So I'll show you. You know, I had written, some things in here with this pen, and then I had noticed that on the back side, it will show really, really blue, and it keeps getting worse. So as you can see, I had used it for a few weeks actually. And so you'll see this throughout my flip through, unfortunately. So I ditched this, and then I was like, I need to just go find a gel pen that's going to work for me. And that's how I ended up with the Zebra Sarasa Dry. So don't recommend, not for Tomoe River paper, or I'm just doing something wrong because I'm still a noob. But anyway, but we have the same thing here: to do meals, and then like appointments, and then a little bit of something that I did every day, still with the washi, sometimes a sticker on this side, all the same. And soon, so this page, I decided to change things up a little bit. I just felt like there was more I could be doing to, I don't know, have a little more fun or something. So I just did a super lot of washi. And these are little Post-it things I got from the craft store, and I was like, I'll just use it because this is obviously a camping theme. And this was great. I had a lot of fun doing this, and I was still kind of writing things about the day, on the week's side. Here, this has become a thing where I like to have some sort of big sticker or a bigger focal point somewhere. And this is what started it, actually. And still to do with meals. I mean, who's consistent with this stuff, right? I mean, I'm just trying to figure it out like everybody else. But I really like the colors on this page. And then here, I really loved this one, because this is when I was like, oh, I really love, having a big focal point sticker. And then I did this, and I was like, oh, I just love all the colors. And, I love having a big thing here. And I switched up the right page here. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess back here I added some goals for the day, which obviously didn't last. But so here I still have my to-do, and I still have the meals. And then this is another version of like the goals. They're daily goals, basically. So it was like every day I could just refer to this to make sure these things got done, which, I mean, they hardly ever did, but they were there. And so I did that again for the next week, which, my little focal sticker there. So I have the same to-do meals and then the daily. And this was becoming really annoying to me. It was kind of making me feel like I wasn't doing anything, because I felt like I was doing so much during the day and just, keeping up with the house and just, doing your everyday things that you have to do. But I was only checking off like one thing or two things or even three things. And it was still like, I could never check it all off. And so yeah, I scrapped it. I was like, whatever, I don't need that pressure. I'll figure something out later. So we started getting real busy. When is this? This is May. Oh, at the end of May. Yeah. So we started planning a lot of summer stuff, and I was kind of focused on that and not so much on filling everything out and making it super pretty. I was really wanting to go more simple. I just wanted a more simplified plan because I felt like I was getting so busy and I was so involved with so many other things. So as you can see, things started getting less full. I was still decorating, but then, I was like, I'm not going to fill in stuff for every day. I've got my daily journal for that. And, so I was like, I'm just going to use it for appointments. If it's blank, it's blank. Like maybe I can decorate it afterwards or whatever. But yeah, I just kind of took the pressure off myself, and I was like, I still enjoy looking at this. I have chill here because things were starting to get really busy. It was just like a reminder for myself to just chill out. And oh yeah, so that was there because we were going on a major camping vacation this whole week, and I was so like obsessed with making sure I was packing everything and I wasn't missing anything, and making sure the house got completely clean so when we came back from vacation, I wouldn't be overwhelmed. I could just kind of unload everything and then just like chill in a clean house, with no laundry left over for me or anything. So you could tell that I was trying to chill myself out. So this week we were at the beach, and I knew I wasn't going to decorate this. I knew I wasn't going to fill it out. I mean, obviously there was nothing for me to do. There was no appointments or anything I needed to keep track of. We were just enjoying our vacation. So, I just have a week like that. And then when we came back, I had like a really busy week, and I was also dreading this. Like I knew this week was happening after vacation. And so I was thinking about that during this week too, which is where the chill comes in, because I was stressing out over this. And, we just had a bunch of camps and stuff for the kids. And, but I quite enjoy this spread. I just put some stickers on there and just, held back. And it was just so simple. And it was lovely for me to look at when I had everything here. And also I just can clearly see what I have to do, where I have to be, and when I need to be there. And so this was so functional for me. And for the foreseeable future, I'll be doing it this way, until I feel differently. So the following week, I ended up out of town for a week. We had kind of a family emergency. So I didn't know I was going to be away all week, so this ended up blank because I didn't bring any stuff with me. But since I was away, I didn't have any appointments or stuff I needed to keep track of, so this didn't need to be filled in anyway. This is this past week, and I still went with the same nice and simple spreads. I've basically just been putting appointments in, that way they're nice and clear to me. I don't have to search for them or dig around. So this has been working out so great, and I am enjoying using the Hobonichi weeks more and more. The more I use it, the more I change things up. So the next tab, the rest of this is, the rest of the weeks up until next April. And so this tab takes me to this sort of index. And then as you can see, I've got a master to-do list, a homeschool tracker, and a master goals list so far. And master to-do list right here. Whenever I make my to-do list every week, I'm supposed to every time refer to this and see if there's anything on here that I would like to add for that week, anything that I'd like to tackle, which hasn't really happened. but it's there for whenever. The next one is the master goals list. So if there's a particular goal that I would like to focus on for that week or something, I'll just make sure I write it. I'll refer back here, pick one if I want, and then, write it in here in a goals section, which I haven't seen one of those in a while. So, And then the next tab goes directly to my homeschooling tracker. I have a homeschooling traveler's notebook just for homeschooling stuff. This, the Hobonichi Weeks is an everyday carry for me, so it's always in my purse. And whenever I'm out and about, I always have this with me. So because this is always with me, there are so many blank grid pages in the back of this planner. So I decided that since I have this on me anyway, whenever we're out and about and I come across a learning opportunity with my kids, I'll use this to write it down so that when I come back home, I can fill that in my official homeschooling traveler's notebook, homeschooling planner, I guess. So I've left, lots of space. This fall is when we will officially start homeschooling for the first time. So, I'm just kind of leaving room for experimentation and that kind of thing. And this last tab back here is just a, what do people call it? Oh, an inbox. So before we went to our beach vacation, I had to buy a swimsuit. And this is on the last page of the grid paper. And so I'm going to be using this working backwards for my inbox. And the homeschooling tracker, I'll be working, the right way. And hopefully that gives enough room for everything by the end of the year that, I won't have any overlap or something. I don't know, that could blow up in my face, whatever. We'll see. We're just going with the flow. And that's basically it. I may use this grid paper in the back for some more stuff as the year progresses, but for now, this is all I really need. It's so incredibly functional for me. I'm going to enjoy archiving these every year once I fill them up. Anyway, that is my weekly calendar cover setup that holds my planner, which is the Hobonichi Weeks. And this is an everyday carry for me. I always take it in my purse, and I find that it is super functional, super helpful. It actually keeps me incredibly organized. And it is One Book July right now. And I mean, if we're talking planners, then basically I am using one book. I've got a ton of traveler's notebooks that I use for many other purposes, but this is the only planner I have. And I prefer it that way because if I get a phone call or something, from a doctor's office or whoever that needs to reschedule, when they call you, they don't give you much time to look up, your dates and look at your calendar and stuff. But so I know I can just grab this and flip it open, and I have everything there that I need to be able to reschedule something. And in the past, I don't know why, but I had some appointments in a different place, maybe it was in a personal or something like that. I can't really remember, but I remember when I got a call to reschedule something, I sort of froze for a second because I didn't know which thing to grab. And after that, I made sure that I kept everything in the one. And the next time I got a call to reschedule, I was like, yeah, you see, it worked. And so, that was a great accomplishment for me. And, part of the learning process, and, you find what works for you. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.